Hello everyone, this is Lam here. In today's Fuji Friday, I want to get a chance to talk about the Fuji X-T3. This is the new camera that Fujifilm is going to be bringing out at the end of the year. At first, I wasn't really tracking this camera because this was going to be a photo-centric camera. The XH1 right over here, this is the video-centric camera. That was the reason why I was willing to buy it brand new. If you've been following this channel for quite a while, you know I like buying used gear because it saves me a lot of money. But occasionally I will run across a piece of equipment that is actually worthwhile buying it new. This might be one of those cameras. A couple of things that have drawn my interest is that they really packed this camera, the X-T3 that's going to be coming out, with a lot of new video technology. It's going to be able to do 4K at 60p. It can do a 10-bit recording. Hopefully that's internal because that's what I'm really looking forward to. If it could also remove the video limit recording, that would be excellent, but we will see. A couple of other things that are interesting, of course, is that now with a new processor, they can do zebras. There's also a sensor upgrade in which it's back illuminated, so it should be better in low light, and it should also reduce noise in images. So this camera is packed full of really great stuff. So if this continues, I definitely am willing to buy this brand new. There are a couple of caveats that I am looking for. Number one is going to be the price. This being a crop sensor camera, if it's going to be above the X-T2, which Fuji rumor says it's not going to be, then it's going to be a very interesting camera to get, especially around the $1,500 range, because that's going to be priced below a lot of major cameras like the A7 Mark III and also the new Nikon Z6 that's going to be coming out, which has a lot of great features. I think at this point, Fuji really is getting on board with just packing their cameras with the best technology they can. This seems to be a really good idea. As of right now, most of the users in this market, they're really not brand loyal. A lot of them will jump ship to one camera or another and just buy adapters to be able to adapt their lenses. So Fuji keeping up with the technology is definitely super important. So I'm just going to go ahead and run through some of the specs that I'm really interested in. And this is the reason why I think it's going to make a great video camera. My favorite vlogging camera is still the X-T20 because of its size. If the X-T3 actually holds out on most of these specs, this could be a direct replacement for my X-T20, and I will just repurpose my X-T20 to do something different. So just going down the list, it is still an APS-C sensor. That's going to be a downside to a lot of people who are spec geeks. Personally, I don't really care. I shot full frame, and now I've moved back to APS-C. And while there is a noticeable noise difference, it's not so noticeable to where it's a detriment, especially if you're doing video content on YouTube. If you're doing something on a high-end professional basis, you do have to take that into account. But for me, not that big of a deal. The backside illuminated sensor, that's what I'm most interested in because this should make it perform really well in low light, and it should also reduce image noise. It remains to be seen what the technology looks like in the hands of Fujifilm, but I'm really interested to see some of the samples once they come out. It's 26 megapixels, which isn't really all that different. The price tag is supposed to be below $1,600. That's a very interesting thing because if it can be below, say, $1,500 or $1,400, that's going to be really aggressively priced compared to a Nikon Z6 or the Sony A7 Mark III, which is both priced right around $2,000. Which they're both great cameras, but $2,000, still a lot of money. Dual SD card slots, definitely a great thing. Full sensor coverage for phase detect, that's going to be a very interesting one. One of the things that the X-T20 doesn't do all that well is that the phase detect on this for face detection isn't really all that great, so I usually manually focus this, which is perfectly fine, and I actually like doing manual focus on this. But if the face detection on the X-T3 is really good, I might just switch over to it and just save myself a little bit of hassle. But either way is fine. Now the tilty screen is one of the things that I'm kind of baffled at. The X-T100 has a great design for its tilting screen. I really don't see why the X-T3 wouldn't inherit from that. It would solve everybody's problems. It would make everybody's happy. I just assumed if they don't put it in, it's because of a durability issue. There really isn't any reason not to put it in there. Right now, most people think that the X-T3 will not have in-body stabilization. This makes sense as that is a key feature in the XH1, but that's really not the end of the world for us videographers because gimbal technology has gotten so good. You can always just put that onto a gimbal, since it's going to be a very lightweight camera anyways. It's going to be very easy to balance, and we can still get some really good video while moving around. So this is not something that I think is a detriment. Plus, without having IBIS in there, it means that it's going to be a cheaper camera, so I'm hoping that's going to lower the price. One of the things that I'm surprised at is that Fujifilms is going to continue using the same battery. It is going to be improved, or at least that's what Fuji Rumor says, but a lot of people are moving into bigger batteries because it seems the consumers want their batteries to last longer. This includes myself. While I don't think the current battery technology is bad, I wouldn't say it's great either. So I'm hoping to see an improvement in battery life, but that's something that we're just going to have to wait and see. Onto the body, they actually have a headphone jack, so that's going to be great for anybody who's doing video, especially the person behind the camera. It's going to have 420 phase detect points, so that's going to be interesting. Fuji Rumor also says it's going to have improved eye autofocus. That's going to be really great for the picture taking people. I personally don't use that all that much, but this is a photocentric camera, so having an improvement in that definitely will help and also increase sales. Really, Sony is the only one right now that has that really locked down. I have tried it on their Mark III and A9, and it's really impressive technology right there. So everybody's really trying to catch up in terms of making eye autofocus one of their main features. So if Fuji Rumor is correct on most of these specs, this will make a pretty amazing camera. But again, Fujifilms kinda has a very niche market, and with Nikon coming in with their mirrorless camera, they really have to stay on top of their game. I have looked at the Nikon Z6. It looks to be a very competitive camera. Would I switch back? Currently, I would say no, but things could change in a few years. What will be really interesting to see is how Canon's going to respond to all these mirrorless cameras, with Nikon doing a full commitment into mirrorless with these two cameras that just got announced. I'm assuming Canon's going to be announcing the next couple of months. If they don't, that's really a major misstep for them, because you can tell that the mirrorless market is starting to heat up, and if they fall behind there, they're really going to lose out on the market. Because in my opinion, mirrorless cameras and also video recording technology is the wave of the future. This is what the new generation of photographers and videographers are going to want. They're going to want a small compact camera that they can carry with them that can both do video and photos. I think the focus on video is going to be more important for the next generation, but the focus for photo right now is for the current generation. But me as a YouTuber, I personally think that any camera right now really needs to aggressively pursue having great video features. So that's my thoughts for this week. I am looking forward to the X-T3. Can't wait to see the announcements on that and what the real specs are going to be. If they are as good as what the rumors say they are, I'm definitely going to order one and have one in my inventory to use, because it would be a great camera. But if it's not, then I can wait for the X-T30 or wait for the XH2, whichever one comes first. It looks like this is going to be a very exciting time for anybody who wants to be a hybrid shooter. Can't wait for all the other announcements to happen, and we will see who's going to be winner in 2019.